Hi, my name is Gavin. I'm assuming that if you clicked on this video, you're interested in learning about my diet. So let's dive into it step by step to better understand how it works. First of all, what is a ketogenic diet? A ketogenic diet is a diet where you eat a low amount of carbs and a high amount of fat. For simplicity's sake, at least under 50 grams of carbs. However, there are variations. Now, there are some people who might panic when they hear this, but let's get a few myths out of the way. First of all, fat is not unhealthy on its own, other than trans fat, and in any normal case, you won't get some sort of illness or disease by eating fat. However, eating a lot of fat and carbohydrates at the same time is not a good idea. One big reason for this is that your body has to burn carbs first, and if your body spends so long dealing with carbs with insulin, then your body can't burn the fat because fat requires lower insulin to burn, and it can linger in your bloodstream. This is bad and can cause your triglycerides to go up. Another myth is that cholesterol will give you a heart attack, but this isn't true. Cholesterol is an important lipid that regulates hormones and vitamin D. A big reason for this misconception is that a lot of the plaque found in arteries that leads to a heart attack is made up significantly from cholesterol. However, in this case, cholesterol is actually being used to try and repair damaged arteries. One common cause of damaged arteries is eating lots of refined carbohydrates. It's important to note that there are other causes for damaged arteries, such as smoking. Now I hope I've put some of you at ease. Now let's move on to the second part, which is hypercarnivore. Now you might hear this word and think, super carnivore, he must eat double the meat. Actually, hypercarnivore describes an omnivore that is very close to a carnivore. A hypercarnivore eats at least 70% animal-based products. Now, for my diet specifically, I do not allow actual foods to not be carnivore. This means that all grains, fruits, and vegetables are off limits. The rules of my diet are as follows: no grains, fruits, or vegetables. Dairy is allowed. Medicine and seasonings are allowed. You can use any type of oil to cook with, and everything must stay under 50 grams of carbs. Now, there is probably at least someone in this point of the video who is flipping out over the fact that there is zero fiber in my diet. You might be thinking that it will completely mess up your digestion, and that you're going to always be constipated, have diarrhea, or digestion issues. But let me tell you, this isn't true. It might actually help your digestion, and here's why. First of all, let's get one thing out of the way. Going number 2 less frequently is not inherently unhealthy. What you should be watching is how your stool looks like when it comes out. Usually on a carnivore-like diet, you will go less often, and that is because, to put it simply, stool is waste. And when you're eating a lot of carbohydrates and fiber, your body produces a lot of waste. But when you're on a carnivore diet, your body doesn't produce as much waste. Most foods on carnivore are very nutrient dense, and your body wants to absorb that, so there's less waste. Another important difference is that you have an organ in your body called the gallbladder, and you use bile. The gallbladder is responsible for storing and releasing bile, which is like your body's natural lubricant for your digestive system. So eating a diet like this can actually prevent you from having your gallbladder removed in some cases, since it doesn't have time to crystallize because it's being used. So it can prevent some gallbladder stones. Bile is produced from your liver. When you eat more fat, you can produce more bile, which helps with digestion a lot. My advice to you would be to find a balance between fat and protein. If you eat too much fat, then you will get the runs. If you eat too much protein, then you will get hard stool. Now you might be wondering, how do I stick to such a super strict diet? It must be very hard not eating fruits, vegetables, or grains, but it's not that bad. After a while of eating low enough carb, you don't crave carbohydrates as much, and discipline is built over time. You're probably going to fail a few times, but if you keep trying, then eventually you can get pretty far. And for me personally, my strategy that works well for me and not cheating is to keep a streak for every day I haven't cheated. And if I cheat, then I reset the streak. As of posting this video, my streak is over 180. Hopefully you found this video to be helpful. Stay safe and stay healthy.